Hello, my friends. Dorothy here. We're going to talk about the new moon in Leo. It's on August 16th. Thanks for joining us. Now, if you're on my Patreon, you get this early. If you're on YouTube, hello and welcome. I'm going to show you, I'm only have up here on the screen. I love sharing the screen with you so you can see what I'm talking about. And we're going to work with these aspects that are on the screen today. All right. So it's more than the new moon because there's some things that are connecting directly with this new moon. And this is what a new moon looks like from my latitude and longitude. So the new moon in Leo is on August 16th, and it is at 5:39 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's for my time zone. I use Placidus house system, always have. However, in this forecast, we talk about the new moon and what's connected to the new moon. We're not talking about where it is in your chart, and we're not talking about the houses or the ascendant midheaven. We're not talking about any of that because it's in a different place for everybody. But the new moon is still the new moon. All you have to do is adjust for your own time zone. So 5:39 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, adjust for your time zone. And so, what do we do with the new moon? Well, first off, I want to remind us that we always have this going on before what goes on before the new moon, and that's called the balsamic lunar phase. And so, I want us to recognize so, for 2 days before the balsamic lunar phase, let me get the dates here. It starts on the 14th. With the balsamic lunar phase, the moon is in the sign of Leo then. However, it's not new. We're at the final stage, and that balsamic lunar phase before every new moon is about quiet and, finding your peace, finding your harmony, just going within, spending time alone if you can, or with the people that make you feel really good and calm. It's a period of inner reflection, those last 45 degrees, which is approximately 2.5 to 3 days, depends on the sign, right? And how fast the moon is moving, because the moon does have different speeds like the rest of the planets do. And so those couple of days before the new moon, balsamic lunar phase, waning phases, we're tying up lots of loose ends. I want you to remember to do that. And we're always focusing when we do these new moon forecasts. That's what it is. It's a new moon forecast. Of course, I'm going to talk about it, but I want you to recall to take that step first. And then once we take that step and we spending a couple of days for the most part, reflecting, spending time thinking about what's going on, releasing, letting go, distilling things down to their most rich and most important. So that creates space. It's like weeding your garden this time of year. Things are really big and ready for harvest, but we still need to weed that garden so what is flourishing has space. All right. That's my that's my analogy there. And so let's get to this new moon. And this is what the new moon looks like. Oh, my face is in the way. Let me minimize my face. There we go. This is what the new moon looks like. It's at 23 degrees of Leo in 17 minutes. Yeah. And so when we have that going on there, the Leo energy represents a time for us to, especially in the new moon, Leo, honing in on the things in our lives that we love, what we're passionate about, right? Bringing forward and allowing that innate creative nature to come forward. Now, honing in, what does that mean, right? Some people might not understand, but typically that refers to like improving skills and focusing on quality of what we're doing through practice, through intention, through repeat patterns, right? And I want you to do that every single month when we have a new moon. I want you to hone in on that new moon. I want you to practice creating intentions for yourself so you can expand and grow in your life. It always is about intention. We use the new moon as an activator since it represents a new cycle beginning. And so you yourself can get into alignment with that too. I know you guys know this, but it's just nice to hear it again once in a while, just to be reminded of that. So I want you to start with writing out intentions that are based off of these qualities, these Leo qualities. It's about creativity, it's about passion, artistic expression, self-actualization in a sense, because Leo is all about the ego essence. And it doesn't necessarily mean we need to become egotistical, but it means to recognize your own value in that egoic sense, the I sense. It's also Leo energy is also about generosity. So maybe you would like to put that in your list of your to-do list, or the things you want to create. You want to be generous with your time, or you want to spend, however you can be generous, whatever that means to you. Everybody has different levels of what they can give and not give. It's that type of generosity. Loyalty, asking or giving more loyalty, playing, celebrating, having fun. All of these things are the qualities that we look for in the Leo new moon. Now, so write those down. And by the way, if you're on my newsletter email list, it comes out just twice a month. I don't harass you, I swear. I don't. It's just me. I'm doing it all. Get on the newsletter email list, because this blog will be posted within, the same amount of time that this gets posted. So if it's not there when you first check it, come back and do it again. It'll go in your email box, or my website has it on the blog post, DorothyMorganAstrologer.com. All right, back to this. So when we have this new moon at 23 Leo, it's at the third section called the decan of Leo. Fiery is all get out, right? Yeah, it's Mars is involved here a little bit too. And so we're driven to create and accomplish and set new goals. It's a fixed energy. So sometimes we're not so thrilled or willing to make the changes that we know we need to make. And that's where this comes in. Let me grab my toolbar here. That's where this comes in. That's where we have that sun and the moon in the same place, and it is just right exact with Uranus. So what do we want to do with that? He's going to stir things up. Absolutely going to stir things up. So we can make some changes that we need to make, because that Leo is fixed fire energy. So we can feel really stuck with that. But when we have this new moon in Leo, it's activating all of those energies I've already spoken of. Find out in your own astrology where 23 Leo is, what house it's in, and you can add your own context to that. But you don't even have to know what that is, because do the things I've just mentioned, all of those keywords. Again, you'll be able to read this. It's on my blog if you want the words to it. And then look at your life and just ask yourself, it's like, where do I need to be more creative? What do I want to be more creative in? And add that to your new moon intentions, rituals, goals. It's so important during new moons for us to pay attention to how we're feeling and what's coming up. And we also add to it, like I just said, the flavor of the zodiac sign. And that's, what am I creative about? What am I passionate about? And I need to set goals based off of that. So you don't even have to know what house it's in for you. That's fine. I know that's too much astrology for some people. So just ignore that piece. What I want you to do is just to, again, use those creative things, your creative endeavors, find that spark of passion. Worked with plenty of clients. It's like, I have no idea what I'm passionate about. Right. And they're genuine. They don't know what they're passionate about. This is a wonderful opportunity to find and discover what you're passionate about, to really engage in that. And this new moon, which is about starting new things, making that square 90-degree angle to Uranus. It's about, I need some space. I need some freedom. I need some independence. And I will be, this is a great one. I am open to receiving new experiences. Something like that. Use your own words. Does that feel too scary to you? This new moon is here to encourage us and to move us into a place that is about new experiences. And I really want you to try to do your best to just take one simple little step. That's what that represents. We also have this new moon. It's separating aspect from, Venus is going one way and the moon and the sun are going another way. And Venus is also retrograde in the sign of Leo. And so the energy of that has been quite dynamic since it is with Leo. Let me get my mouse. There we go. I lost my mouse for a second. There it is. When we have these two together, it gives us the insight that we're looking for with that Venus energy, which means like, what do I love? What do I value? It's in the sign of Leo. So over the last number of weeks, Venus has been retrograde in Leo since July 22nd, and it will stay retrograde until September 3rd. So Venus in Leo with this new moon in Leo, very, very close to it. And Venus has done her second connection to Uranus. You can see that right there. Sorry, this is heavy astrology right now. But what does this all mean is that we're reconsidering and reevaluating what it is that we love, that we value, that we're passionate about, that we want to get behind, how we want to feel generous, how we want to feel loyal or have loyalty. It's just, and above all, I know some people who are getting married in early September. And right now, one of the number one things is like, oh my God, have a big party or buy a house. And as Venus and Leo retrograde, things are costing way more than they anticipated. It's a wedding, it's a celebration, it's what they want, and that's fine. It's not a complaint. It's just like, oh, wow, look at that. But that's what we get. That's one scenario of this new moon, Venus and Leo, both of them making that 90-degree angle over there to Uranus. Now, I'm not getting married. You're probably not getting married. So we can look at this as what is important. What do I love? What am I passionate about? Has life been boring for you lately? This square to Uranus definitely will stir that up. Be open to new opportunities and new things to light that fire within. Include those things in your new moon rituals. That will be so, so important for us to do. Now, we also have Mars and Uranus. You can see that. Mars and Uranus in a trine aspect. I love when these two are together because, it's a harmonious aspect. They're both in earth energies, Virgo and Taurus, and they're just encouraging us. Yeah, there it is in Virgo, Taurus. Yeah, it's a little off because it's not by much. I mean, it only is a separating aspect, or no, it is an applying aspect. It hasn't quite happened yet, but it's part of this new moon. That's why I only have this many aspects up right now, this many planets, because I just want you to see what's connected to this new moon. Mars trine Uranus. Find these places in your chart if you're an astrologer. And if not, that's fine too. But we know here that this is driven. Mars in Virgo is driven to take action. And that nice earthy grounded trine aspect to Uranus and Taurus. Nice. This is going to give us a wonderful opportunity to initiate things that are important to us. And if you know enough, let me tell you, if you have anything over here, right around, 2022 Capricorn, that creates a grand trine in the chart. But anyways, that's what that represents. And then to tie it all off or tie it all up, we do have Venus, the new moon and Venus. They're all in a trine aspect with Chiron and Aries, Chiron, that wounded healer. So it just shows me, it just tells me on, generally speaking, that there's big, I'm going to stop the share now. Excuse me. There's an opportunity here for us to do some personal healing, but we do have to speak up. And a sip of water. We do have to speak up with what's going with what potentially is going on in our relationships. And again, if you're not in a relationship, that's fine. Because it's Chiron, it can bring up for some of us, not everybody, an opportunity to heal something else on another level in regard to an old relationship or a wound that hasn't healed yet, depending on how fresh it is. Gives you that opportunity to do that. And it gives you, with that new moon in Leo, with Venus, with Uranus, with Mars, all of that. And all of them are, most of them are connected to Chiron. It gives you that opportunity to define what it is you value now. That's Venus. That's also Taurus. Uranus is in Taurus. Venus is with this new moon. We have a wonderful opportunity here to discover what our passions are now and what our intentions are now. So be open for that with this new moon. But the first step is to do that balsamic lunar phase thing, which is take some quiet time, some private time on the 14th and the 15th, wherever you can squeeze it out, like after a good meditation, how you feel, or after a good shower or a walk in the woods or a walk on the beach. It's those kind of things. It's self-care, absolute important self-care before we get to this new moon in Leo. All right. That's it for now. There's a ton more in my Patreon. I would love you guys to be there and join me there. And that's not necessary, but it would be appreciated. And here on YouTube, once this goes on to Patreon, then it goes on YouTube. Comment, like, and share. And that helps the algorithms too. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much and enjoy your summer. Blessings. Namaste.